What a day. What a day. What was your reaction yesterday when you saw Trump, I guess, in that scrum, that OJ cavalcade and car caravan? What was your take? I couldn't believe what I was seeing. It made me sick. I've been pretty much, I mean, he goes through his travails, Trump and everything, and I'm not the biggest acolyte, as you might think. But as an American citizen, and how we look, and that one quote that tweet that has been recited by a president of, was it El Salvador, or I don't know, but something to the effect of, this is the most embarrassing event for the President of the United States to be indicted for something that happened after his election. Now let me just be straight with you, and let me see if I can focus in on this. I don't think you want to hear the legal reasons for it. I will say this. There's the media seem to be divided up into different camps. The first, and by the way, today, welcome to the 8 o'clock, our new time, which I think works out better. I'm seeing that the media reaction is as follows. The first group is Andy McCarthy, Jonathan Turley, and Dershowitz. Who else? The usual, who talk about the defects with the indictment, problems with statute of limitations, problems with the grand jury, the recitation, etc., etc., etc. There's a real, how do I say this? I think it's lost. I think people just don't know what to do, so they'll have somebody on. And it's interesting, but I don't think people care about that, and I don't think they understand really what that means. I don't think anybody's even remotely interested in that. I really don't. I don't see it, because it's one of those things that's, okay, the statute of limitations, does that really rouse the, I don't know what it does per se, but it's one of those things that just does not do it. It just doesn't do it. And by the way, my other YouTube channel, please, I ask you right now to sign up for that, to subscribe, is Lionel Legal. And I did one yesterday that just as this happened, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. And the second group of people, okay, so the first argument is the legal. It doesn't. It's. I don't think people really feel this sense of excitement over the notion of a statute of limitations violation, or that the indictment doesn't say what President Trump conspired in essence or planned to commit in terms of the other crime that was involved. I don't know what to say. Does that grab people? I don't know. Is this a sad day? Yes. Yes. Is this embarrassing? Yes. Remember when I can't say I know the official status, but Bibi Netanyahu was under an indictment. He wasn't charged he wasn't treated like this. What we're showing people is that we arrest and we go after people, and the appearance of it, who are basically politically problematic to the powers that be. That's the way this looks. Okay? That's the way this looks. That's the problem. And I can't explain it away other than to tell you that's exactly the way it looks. So you've got the legal part. The second is just people just upset. You have people who are just Trump lovers or Trump haters. And that's the least interesting to me. The least interesting. Yes, I understand this. If you want to watch the Fox News group or others as well, or I just can't. It does nothing for me. I find, and maybe for obvious reasons, I find the legal part interesting because that to me is just, it's like hearing an expert witness like, wow. Because if they're violating the law in terms of how it's done, then they don't care about anything. Okay, that's that. The next thing we have to look at, which is critical, the next part is this. And I will say this repeatedly, okay? Nothing is happening to fix anything now. That's my big takeaway. We'll see what happens in December when they show up again in December. Wow. 8 months? Whew. Okay. Well, that's good, I guess. Then this will allow the president to deal with his other legal problems, which may prove more problematic. But what I find that is the worst part about this is that nothing is being done about this. Now, people are saying, look, it's Trump. I hate Trump. I don't care. He was indicted, so what? Martina Navratilova, who I'm glad to hear recently bounced back from a health scare. Martina Navratilova, who most assuredly wants to provide to you this sense of equity and equality as to transgenders. Oh, she's all over the place with that. She knows equality. It's her middle name. When it comes to Trump, he doesn't deserve it. He's a different thing. The rules don't apply to Trump. See, that's the thing. Next, they were saying, where's Melania? Where is Melania? Does that matter? I don't think it matters. I'm going to say something, and I think I'm just going to say something because a lot of people were addressing this. They don't want to address it, but they have to address it. I don't think people inherently believe that this was or is a very close marriage. Probably by virtue of the fact of the allegations that are made. I'm telling you something, and you know this, and I'm going to say this again. I don't care who you are, if you're Hillary Clinton, if you're whatever. You are never, ever, how do I say this? You are never going to explain to anyone. You are never going to be able to explain to anyone, to a woman, how she is to look the other way when she has had her marriage violated. I don't care if it's Hillary Clinton and Monica Lewinsky, and you know Hillary Clinton and Bill, you think, we always assume that it's kind of not an arranged, but it's like it's one of these things where, nobody cares about, blah, blah, blah. You also have, and this is important to note, you also have these critical moments where, like in Melania's case, this is involving what is called hush money, with this absolute, have you read or heard? I never had the opportunity until a friend of mine showed me this. In fact, I did my good friend Anthony Cumia's show yesterday. And Anthony showed me some tweets from Ms. Clifford, and they are beyond disgusting. Now, let me explain something. I understand that there is a world out there where adult humor and sexual matters are it's okay. But when something is so when it's debasing to you as a human being, to you, that's a different story. When you are the, how do I say this? When you are the subject matter and you refer to yourself as some low-rent trollop, slattern, receptacle. I mean, it's just, okay, so this is what we're talking about. Now, I don't want to compare the two, but this Susan McDougal or whoever the other one was, a little different. So understand, just from a personal point of view, if you're Melania Trump, this is the subject matter of your husband. So she's got to stand up there next to him. And by the way, I know you must love Trump, and that's fine. But that kind of behavior, seriously, if Red, I'm not going to go into his psyche. Now is not the time. But there are people who are sometimes lured by the most base. Okay, so don't expect anybody to stand there, especially when it was announced yesterday that some court of appeals said that she owes him $120,000 from the attorney's fees. I mean, it's tawdry. Now do you know why he wanted to pay her off? This is why. Now, you can talk about this all day long. My favorite are these people these conservatives who love to talk about the Bible and the family and, morality. But when it comes to Trump and this trollop, this slattern, they say, well, it's like, wait a minute. You don't have any faith, do you? And I'm not doing this from the point of view of Christian values. It's low rent. But if you think that's bad, wait till the E. Jean Carroll stuff comes out. See, this is what I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to tell you, you're going to get your heart broken. See, this is just step one. This is their introduction. This is going to be forgotten before you know it. The waving, hey, that's good. That's good. He has in his base, he has very, very loyal people. And I do not understand, for the life of me, I do not understand why Marjorie Taylor Greene is wading into crowds with microphones and screaming and yelling. I don't understand any of this. It's like, what are you doing? Do you care at all about image? Did you see the one picture of, it looked like he's looked many, many times before with that kind of a sullen, sort of, embarrassed, I guess, for lack of a better word, sad, whatever the phrase is. And they're in court, and I just hope that they lay this low and just talk about other things. It's the strategy of this. I don't think they have anything. Trump is going to keep talking about, look how they're treating me unfairly. You don't have to do that. We know that. Let other people do that for you. What's the best way for him? This is the non-legal argument. How do you stand? You stand not like it doesn't bother you, but that it disappoints you. You're disappointed in your country. You're disappointed in the system. You're disappointed. Alvin Bragg is a hero in many respects. You have to understand this. Alvin Bragg is a hero. I talked to a friend of mine who was a fellow lawyer, and I said, just as a, irrespective of your liberal or whatever, I said, don't you think did you read the indictment? I don't care about that. See, this is where the legal community and I just have what are you good for? Every time we do anything, you can't join a voluntary bar association without pledging fealty to the Constitution. What do you think this means? What do you think this means? I don't understand this. What do you think this is? Same thing for the medical community. The medical community kept its mouth shut during COVID, never said anything out of fear of, losing insurance privileges or what have you. And then, it gets even better, and then saying nothing about children who are being operated on, perhaps in some cases, either improperly or not using implied consent. They don't say anything. See, nobody's saying anything. This is the point of what I started off with. Nothing happens. We're great at complaining. We're great at complaining. And you think that somehow watching some Fox News show with people on a couch or 4 in a row screaming and yelling about this, or Alan Dershowitz saying something, that somehow that means something. I don't know how to break it to you. It means nothing. It means absolutely nothing. It means nothing. Nothing's going to happen. We know this. That's great from programming point of view. Numbers are going to go up. That's terrific. Nothing is being done. Nobody is acting. The ABA, the National Association of Criminal Defense Lawyers, or the National Association of District Attorneys, or the trial lawyers, or ACLU, nobody. You see, to me, this is very serious. I was the one, if you recall, I was the one who came out, who spoke on behalf of and in support of the idea of Hunter Biden, who had his privacy violated per Delaware statutes, when he left his laptop at this store, and the contents of the laptop were made available. I'm thinking, wait a minute, that's different than, that's the content. I was on, as I told you, with my good friend Anthony Cumia, smartest guy. And I said, he was a bit surprised. He said, well, let me ask you a question. I said, let's say I found your wallet and I did everything in my power, everything to find you, locate you. I waited 30 days or whatever the requisite period of time is, and now I own it. I own it, the money, the contents. But what if I then take your information and say, well, here's your driver's license. I'm going to go online and post it. Here's where he lives. This is his social security number. These are his credit card numbers. Here they are. Can I do that? Can I do that? Do you mind if I do that? I own the wallet. Can I let everybody know what's in the wallet? Can I show this? By the way, his expiration date is, the personal code, the security code is this. Here's his number. Well, I found the wallet. Of course not. That's what happened with Hunter Biden. But because people that you and I know hate Hunter Biden with such vehemence that they can't stop and say, forget about who it is. See, that's what we can't do. They can't forget about who it is. When you allow this once, you're telling the world, you're charging somebody who happens to be ostensibly, on paper, the leading candidate in 2024, and you've got this wizened, hobbled, putatively this dotard who is nowhere to be found most of the time. And lo and behold, you're timing this right. This is interesting. None of this makes sense. You see the political part of this. And there are people coming forward and saying, you can't do this. You're charging 34 counts, 34, over transactions that happened in 2017 after the election. And Alvin Bragg gets up there in front of people, and what they told him was, Alvin, don't worry about this. Get up there and say that the president, in essence, conspired to or planned to cover up a crime without his being able to justify or say specifically what it was. No, it is so fatally defective, and it may fall apart later on. It may completely fall apart. We'll see. And all these lawyers are coming forward, and that's great. On Fox News or the other, I don't watch the others. And I can't even watch. I just saw this It reminded me of O.J. Simpson. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Now, in a very weird way, a very strange way, the president, I think, thoroughly enjoys this. I think the president is unable to understand attention versus ignominy versus positive versus. I don't think, in some respects, I think it's the same to him. I don't think it matters. I really don't. There is a new thing. The president loves either your acclaim or his being displayed as a martyr. As a martyr. He loves this. Either way. Because he's always talking about it. Look what they're doing to me. That's not enough to get you elected. Look what they're doing to me. Now, I'm going to make sure very good, because people don't really understand this. People don't want to think about this politically, because when it comes to politics, nobody knows anything. If you think this president is somehow going to benefit from this, from the undecided swing voter, the independent, undecided voter, you're out of your mind. If you think that, you're out of your mind. Nobody's going to run and say, hey, I'm going to vote for him. I like him. They might say, hey, you know what? This is unfair. This isn't right. Okay. But that's the guy I want to vote for. And yesterday I heard Kayleigh McEnany talk about this suburban mom. And somehow the suburban mom. Let me ask you something. Ladies, do you feel better, worse, or just about the same regarding the allegations of President Trump and this Stormy Daniels? Do you feel the same? Do you feel, what do you feel? Tell me. What is it that you feel regarding her and her plight? Do you feel good about this? Do you feel good? Do you feel this? Do you feel this? Do you understand? Do you think this is a good move? No, you don't. No, you don't. No. And I'm seeing something too, because people will say, well, it doesn't matter because it's Trump. No, you have to remove yourself. Let me ask you a question. Let's assume, for the sake of argument, Don Jr., Eric, Ivanka left the laptop. I don't know. They probably wouldn't do it. I don't think they'd just go to some strip mall. Hey, can you fix this? Leave it. And lo and behold, they took that laptop after a period of time and they published all of this information, personal pictures that's on a cloud or whatever it is. You would be furious. You wouldn't say to yourself, well, she abandoned it. No, because what we're seeing right now, and please read, and I ask you, read the comments. Situational ethics. Moral relativity. You're seeing people who say, my worldview is determined and focused on, and these are good people, focus only on whether I like somebody or whether I don't like somebody. If I like somebody, then I will demand that they be treated in a certain way, that they not be in any way. But if I don't like somebody, or if I don't care, this is what we're seeing. This is what we are seeing. And I see it all the time. This is where I part company. This is where I say, I don't fit in here. I don't fit in. I don't care who it is. Period. If Joe Biden had paid hush money to a woman while he was married, you would be calling for his head. You wouldn't. You would say, but because it's Trump, and I understand this, you say, well, it's an NDA, and non-disclosure agreements are par for the course. Do you see where this situational ethics is? This positional morality? Well, it depends upon how it's effective. This is what's wrong with us. There's got to be a certain absolutism here. You can't say, well, it's okay for him, but not for him. For me and not for thee. This is the hypocrisy of all of this. Because everybody right now who says this is a tragedy, there's something, and a travesty too. There's something so weird and so sadistic about people taking great glee in somebody being arrested. If it were Hillary Clinton, you wouldn't be able to contain yourself. If it were Hillary Clinton, you wouldn't be able to breathe. You would be so elated. And it's true. You would think this is the greatest thing in the world. Lock her up. Lock her. Remember that? Lock her up, drain the swamp, build the wall. Remember the big three? Lock her up. Lock her up. He said before he ran, I want to lock her up. Now, he had reasons for it. Alvin Bragg, before he ran, said, I'm going to lock him up. I'm going to indict him. People say, that's disgusting. Before you ran, Trump did it. Yeah, but that's different. Yeah, but and you'll point out differences. Yeah, but he's a district attorney, and Trump's no, wait a minute. Hold it. No, it's the same. Well, it's Hillary Clinton. You see, this is the way we work. This is the. It's like when people say, I want to have prayer in school. Hare Krishna prayer? No, not that. Well, you said prayer in school. Well, I don't mean that. No, you said prayer. Well, I mean Christian prayer. Well, you didn't say that. Yeah, but I assume that. See, so, and I don't include myself in this, and how many think that Marjorie Taylor Greene acquitted herself well by standing in front of this congressperson, standing out there among people dressed up as, I don't know what they were, with a microphone, yelling and screaming, and do you think that's a good look? Do you think that's the future president? Or have our ethics changed to such a degree today that that's okay? It looked cheap, tawdry. She was just on 60 Minutes. People were kind of like saying, oh, okay, well, there she is. What is the point of this? Do you love the scrum? And I don't know about you, but are you getting tired of Carrie Lake or whatever? She's everywhere. She's there. She's like this cadre of the usual folks. Carrie Lake, Boebert, Gates, MTG. Who else? It's the same retinue, the same group, the same. Do they just... Are they linking themselves with Trump, or do they stand independent of him? I don't understand what are they... I am never going to, if I want to win an office, keep talking to the people that I already have. I'm not going to keep going to my base over and over and telling them, convincing them they're making the right mistake in voting for me. Now, you can do one of two things. You got to ask yourself. You got to say to yourself, listen, I don't care. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I'm not here to be logical. I'm just here because I'm just here for the beer. I just love the yelling and screaming, and I love Trump, and yeah, maybe you're right. I don't know. But I don't care about that. I'm here because I just love this. And I want to hold a sign, and I want to scream and yell. And these people who, would you stand on this, God bless them, stand outside by the street waving? What are you clapping? I mean, support is, it's not that I support, how do I say this? And I want you to listen carefully. It's not that I support Trump per se, but I'm afraid that the rules don't apply, that the Constitution doesn't apply anymore. That's the bottom line. That's my focus. They're not playing by the rules. It doesn't matter whether it's Trump. It could be anybody else for that matter. It's ridiculous. He's got 6 total cases in front of him. 6. And you ain't seen nothing until they get to the Mar-a-Lago files case. That's all I'm going to tell you. And people, much like we've seen here, we have a lot of internet lawyers who come up with these things. Well, you know, in the Hunter Biden case, you see, are you aware of Delaware law? No, I don't care about Delaware law. Are you aware about invasion of privacy? No, you know, it's a weird tort. Many states don't have that. Well, I don't. Look, it's Hunter Biden. I don't kind of care about that. I just kind of make things up. Okay. People just make these things up. And when it comes to Mar-a-Lago, they have this idea that, well, Trump can declassify. It's not about declassifying. This Espionage Act, this other thing. Well, I don't know what it's about. But Trump did nothing wrong. How do you know he did nothing wrong? Well, because he just doesn't. So you really don't know what you're talking about. No, not at all. I don't know what I'm talking about. But I like to be the glad-hander. I like to scream and yell and, you know, make all kinds of noise. But no, I don't know what's going on. I don't know. I don't know about the statute. I don't know anything. I'm just a cheerleader. And whatever he does, I love. I've got no time for that. I've got no time for that. That case is very serious. And yesterday, that was a joke. They're not all jokes. This guy, Jack Smith, is not Alvin Bragg. This is serious. We're not talking about some state thing where we're talking about serious offense. Serious. And it scares me. It scares me only because it's like I'm a physician and I know what cancer is and you don't. Or I know what this cough means and you don't. Or I know what this x-ray is and you don't. You're focused in this love affair with Trump, which is great, which is fine, but that obscures the reality of this. This is serious stuff. These people play for keeps. Ask people this question today. They kept asking this question yesterday over, and I was forced to watch Fox News because they had the best live coverages. I wanted to see where it was going and which route they were going and all that stuff. Why did Roger Stone have a gag order? How did they ever issue a gag order on him? Why? How is it that Roger Stone, a defendant, couldn't say anything about his case? I never understood that one. Never understood that one. Whatever happened to Carter Page, his case regarding FISA? Anybody hear about that? Oh, I don't know about that. I don't know. So it's over with. The president is raising a lot of money, which is good, I guess. That's a positive. I want him to be able to do that. But he better get very serious. Better tell his legal team, Mr. Tacopina in particular, watch what you say. Same thing goes double for Don Jr. Eric, I think, is doing a yeoman's job, being very, very serious, very sober about this. You have to say something, obviously. Make sure you get together. Make sure you say something in concert. Don't say something just to go on some just to get hits and clicks and we'll see what happens with this. It's a very, very, very sad day for our country. Whether people agree with this or not, it's a very, very, very sad day. Now, my friends, a couple of things. Please follow me on YouTube, the second channel, at Lionel Legal. Sign up right now, right this moment. Also, remember our sponsors, and we appreciate them so much. MyPillow.com, promo code Lionel. We get a free gift if you sign up with their new MyPillow 2.0. God bless these fine folks. PrepareWithLionel.com. Emergency food preparation and all of the devices and positions and equipment and provisions you need in the case you need emergency food. EMP Shield, electromagnetic pulse protection from an American-owned, veteran-owned Midwest company, EMP Shield. All of these links are in our description. And finally, Z-Stack, make sure you have your immune system up to speed, because I know you're not eating right and you need all the help you can get. And this wonderful elixir, one of my favorites, vitamin C, zinc, D3, the miracle hormone, in essence, and quercetin, which is a flavonoid, a bioavailable antioxidant that is just the 357 magnum of such. All right, my friends, also make sure you go to linswarriors.org. She has a newsletter coming up today, linswarriors.org. Contribute, help, support, read how to protect our children. That's coming up. So until tomorrow, and I like, by the way, our time at 8 a.m., we'll be back. And let me just say this one more time. Don't react because you like or don't like Trump. Don't say, that's okay because I hate Trump. Or, I don't care what Trump did because I love Trump. No. Look at it objectively. It's the only way to evaluate this. Because if you don't do it that way, then you're just either a glad-hander or a naysayer. Whatever the hell that means. All right, my friends. Have a great day. See you tomorrow. Same bad time. 8 a.m. New time. Don't forget 8 a.m. See you then. And don't forget the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue you.